And action. I've been feeling this way since we hooked up.
I'm the running.
Really? Really? That's the voice you're going to do?
That's how you sound.
Is that how I sound? Babe, I sound like Tiwa Savage. What are you talking about?
Guys, when we did that thing, I remember the first time we played it, people were like, oh my gosh, you guys got Tiwa Savage to do the intro.
That's not true.
I was like, that's a movie.
This is our journey.
Hey guys, welcome to our love journey.
Yeah.
The podcast.
Oh, the podcast with Mpumi and Brendan. Apparently, that's how we're supposed to say it.
That's how you're supposed to say it. And this is like the third time and you're not saying it.
That's a lot.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to be back. We were away intentionally. I think a lot was going on.
Yeah.
You're busy with a lot of stuff. I'm busy with a lot of stuff.
Mr. International, Mr. Global.
Are you ready to?
No.
Nah.
It's not, it's too soon.
It's too soon. But yeah, I mean, we had to choose. Do we either choose being consistent or do we choose our peace and our family?
Yeah, and I was just thinking the other day that, you know, the thing about what we do and what we try to give you guys is that a lot of what we do is based on our life and our experiences.
Yeah.
So as much as we want to put out content, we also need to live.
Yeah.
So we kind of try to keep that balance where we're living life, but we also kind of still, you know, teaching what we learn or expressing what it is that we are learning through this journey. But it's a tough balance.
It is a tough balance because I think, like you said, there's just times when a lot is just going on and mentally it's just really hard to come and put out something really good, and so you kind of just have to choose yourself, and that's what we really advocate for, right?
You have to, and I think with you especially, I mean, the past month you put out a vlog,
Yeah.
but there's been so much that's been happening.
Yeah.
Stars have been aligning.
Yeah.
You've been opening new chapters, so it's very hard to be out here kind of pretending like that's not happening.
That's not
in
happening,
your life.
and that's not like also taking a lot from someone as
Yeah,
well. Yeah.
yeah.
Anyway, that's not today's topic. Today's
No, it's
topic is
not.
quite an exciting.
What
I
is
don't know if
today's
it's
topic?
exciting or funny or good or we're coming for your guys' business. But I'm gonna start with a review, and we got 5-star, and the heading is 5-star content because that's how we roll.
That's
And
what
it's from Socks Masogisi.
Okay.
And Socks Masogisi says, I have really fallen in love with your podcast and listening to all the topics that you guys navigate. I find myself asking myself about my life and the journey I want to take going forward. Keep giving us good content and really love you guys.
Siyabonga, Masogisi.
Socks Masogis. I love that because ultimately we're not here to tell you what to do with your life. We're
No.
here to have you ask yourself some questions. What do I want to do with my life? You know,
Yes.
what's my life about? What do I like? What interests me? What path am I on?
Yeah, it's like therapy, you know, like it's not our job to advise you on what to do. It's just for us to help you best figure out what you want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should we get into today's topic?
Today's topic is an interesting one. It's actually quite a trendy one, if we're being honest.
Is it trendy?
Not like trending, but like it's something that you see quite a lot.
Oh, yeah.
So today we're talking about red flags, guys.
In relationships.
In relationships. I know Mpumi is going to be good at this.
Why?
You've got a spirit of discernment. And so, red flags.
No.
Don't you?
Now I do. I
No,
didn't
you've
before.
developed one.
Yeah, now don't play with my discernment. My discernment is
now,
like
yo,
proper.
guys, like literally, I could try and sneeze and not sneeze, and she'd pick it up even if she was not looking at me. But like, yeah. So I don't know. I think you're gonna go first because
Yeah.
I think you might have a lot of experiences. with
I
this.
do. I want to start with this. It's a tweet that I found actually on Pinterest. It's by Tori Gordon, and she says, "So often we sacrifice what we want most for what we want now, especially when it comes to love. We will unconsciously settle for the person who is giving us the attention we desire, even if it requires looking past some of the red flags that are right in front of us." I love that first part that she says that we sacrifice what we want most for what we want now.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's actually very true. And it's the thing about love though. Love is blinding, guys. Like when you love someone, you can overlook a lot of the
Love
red
or
flags.
is it infatuation?
Infatuation, whatever you want to call it, but it's a type of love.
Yeah.
Feels like love at the
Feels like
time.
love, yeah.
And so I definitely get that. I mean, if you feel like you have something now,
Yeah.
it's very hard for you to kind of look past that and try and see, and you know.
Yeah, and be like, no, let me wait for what I really need.
and also there is rare occasions where people do change.
I guess. But do we want our people to take that chance though?
No, like I think if I was a betting man, I wouldn't bet on people changing.
Yeah.
But they, like I said, it is an exception. There are exceptions.
They are.
Yeah, but let's hear your stories.
Okay.
What do you think is a red flag in relationships? I want you to give us one that's like, this is a non-negotiable. Like, this
Okay.
is the biggest red flag
Yeah.
that you've ever experienced in dating.
Okay, I'll share my story. I think I probably have
I hope
shared
it's
it.
not me.
No, it's not you. I probably have shared it because it was just so traumatic. And every time I think about, not traumatic in that sense,
Yeah.
that I have to go to therapy, but when I think about it, I'm like, why did I put myself through that? Like now that I'm smart, I'm just like, why would you do that? But to start it off, when someone shows you who they are,
Believe them
believe them.
the first time.
Even to stamp it, when someone tells you who they are,
Oh, wow.
believe them.
Okay.
I
So when they even told you?
Well, I mean, I got in a relationship with someone. So if initially it started off as we liked each other. I guess we found each other really attractive. This was in my high school days. Found each other really attractive, and then doing what I do, I went to stalk him. Go check him out on Facebook, and then on his Facebook page, it's blatant. In a relationship with this person. I saw it, right? And I said,
And this person wasn't you.
no,
This
no,
person-
this person's not me because we haven't solidified things. So I sent my friend, my best friend, and she's like, no, maybe he forgot to change it. You know how us girls
Yeah,
sell
yeah,
each
she was
other. Yeah.
optimistic.
Yeah, optimistic. So I ask him and I'm like, hey, I see in relationship with this person, is it true? And he actually said yes. And he said, but she lives in Pretoria.
Oh. So you were like, that changes everything.
I didn't feel like that. I was upset.
Oh,
Obviously,
okay.
I think rationally I was like, well, that's not okay. I mean, clearly this relationship's a whole thing. And then I go and I stalk the lady. And my gosh, is she not gorgeous? And she was like, oh, no. When you see that person, you're just like, I don't stand a chance. Like she had it all figured out, fashionable. Like, gee, she was just, ooh, it girl. Like she
Yeah.
was gorgeous.
She was the girl she thought she was.
She was the girl who she thought she was. She was the girl she thought she was. And I continued talking to that person. He never ever gave me a title. Never ever gave
So
me
you're
a
just
title.
like, yeah, shame, man.
I don't know what I was doing. And it's the sort of, and he's the same guy who would only call me on a Friday, midnight. And I was upset about that. And he said, no, during the week he's working. There's absolutely nobody who works that hard. Nobody can, no
Yeah,
one
like he's working
works
Monday to Thursday.
Monday to Thursday.
Every single second.
Yeah, but the truth is he was clear that he's got someone who he's dedicated to.
Yeah.
He's unavailable to me except on a Friday, I guess, when he's bored. And I continued and I was hopeful that no, I will win his heart. And I never did. It just burnt me. Like it just burns you.
Yeah.
So that's
Like
my
this
red
fire-
flag.
this
Like
fire.
this fire.
It's dying now.
Yeah. What's your red flag? Or have you been a red flag?
I'll go with the first question. I think
Okay.
I prefer the first question.
Okay.
But I definitely have been a red flag. I might actually be. This one goes both ways.
Okay.
It's a red flag that I've experienced and I'm pretty sure I've been it.
Okay.
But ghosting is an all-time red flag. If you don't know what that
I
means.
didn't know the story.
What?
Okay, no, I'm just laughing. It's fine.
It's not the
Continue.
story
It's
that
not
I'm
the
going to
story.
tell. You
It's
don't
not the
know
story
it.
I'm thinking.
No, I'm just speaking in broad
Okay.
generality. I guess it's fine. You know why?
No, I told my
implicate myself.
I shared my personal story. You share your.
I'm not implicating myself.
Okay.
So basically, guys, if you don't know what ghosting is it's an art form in the world of relationships. It's an art form where like it's almost like magic. Like we had disappear. Now you're here. Now you're gone. So, but generally, yeah, I think if you are in a relationship and then there's certain moments with your partner that you cannot account for their time. I'm putting it so eloquently.
Like you're just giving us facts. Like at this point, you're a textbook.
I was watching the Lincoln Lawyer, so Ngsane advocate.
Okay.
But yeah, so basically, if you cannot allocate their time in certain areas, and these people they on and off, they disappear and then they're back, and then it's kind of like the story that's a red flag. Like when you can't trust people to be there. Anyway, I'll tell my story.
Thank you.
So-
Because we know what ghosting is. We want your story.
So I was in a relationship with a woman who's not Mpumi in my past life, because I've lived two lives.
Two lives.
I've lived 2 lives. I was in a relationship and I thought things were going great. this is always how it starts.
Yeah.
You know, it starts like this.
You think it's
I
exactly
thought things were going amazing. I thought, man, this could be something.
Will you bring your A game?
I was not. I was.
You were.
I was. I
Okay.
really was. You know what? I didn't know to bring my A. I didn't really have an A game yet, but I was bringing what I have, and I was being honest at the time.
Okay.
And then, well, honest-ish to
You can't
to a point.
be honest. You're
I was
either
trying my
honest or you're
best.
not honest.
So I was in a relationship, and then this girl, she went on a vacation. Let's call it that.
Yeah.
She went on a vacation that was supposed to be a week long. And so where she went, there was no network,
Yeah.
right? But like the first 2 days, she tried her best, I thought. Also, I thought. And like she was communicating, like, oh, sorry, there's no network. And then I didn't hear from her for like another 6 months. This is like an extreme case of ghosting.
Wait, for the whole 6 months, are you hopeful?
So I'm kind of like in like...
You think she's still on vacation?
You know what? To be honest, for the like 2 weeks after she came back, or
Yeah.
after I knew she was coming back,
Yeah.
right? Because also now I was starting to question everything. Because now I don't know, like, is she even back?
Yeah.
Like so the day where she was supposed to return, because I knew the day, because it was like whatever. So the day, like, I started getting worried. Like
Yeah.
I was honestly close to calling the police.
It's just like,
I was like worried, like, okay, because I'm trying to call her and like her phone's off.
yeah.
But like it's not off, like, you know, when you call someone and their phone's off, you can feel it's in the phone peli battery. There's other phone offs that you can just feel
I
that's
don't know
man,
about
that's unblocked. You know, you can just feel it like in your body. So
different.
yeah, it's different. It's a different type of voicemail.
Yeah.
It's not the same one. So I'm calling the first like week essentially to kind of catch up. Like,
Yeah.
yo, okay, I know you're back in the country. When are you coming back down to Joburg?
Sorry, the fire's dead.
Guys, the fire is dying. So I'm basically asking, like, look, I know you're back in the country, but are you back in Joburg?
Yeah.
And that's what I was trying to get to. And so she just never picked up. And then I was just kind of like in this weird place.
Yeah, it was like,
I
are we
didn't know
still
what was
together?
happening. And then the craziest thing, this is now a second red flag. Sorry, but I have to introduce
You
her.
have to.
When she got back, she acted like nothing happened.
What do you mean? So when she
Like,
eventually contacted you,
eventually when she contacted me,
yeah,
it was like it was like everything was normal.
like, hey,
Well, dude, it's been months. What do you mean? Yeah, it was just like, hey, can we do lunch? Like,
what do you
lunch?
mean?
Like, yeah. So it was
a heartbreak.
it was quite heartbreaking, to be
Yeah.
honest. Now that I mentioned, this is why I didn't want to go personal, because now I feel quite sad.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it happens. And how have you been a red flag?
How have I been a red flag?
Yeah.
I think I've shown glimpses of those same kind of tendencies.
Like ghosting.
Yeah, but with me, and it's definitely a red flag. I think I would just avoid communication.
Oh, yeah.
I would just go like emotionally like numb.
Silent,
Yeah, just go like emotionally numb. And I think that's very toxic.
Is it weird that I confide myself as a red flag in any relationship?
You don't feel like you've ever been a red flag?
No.
Maybe that's the red flag. That might be it.
I'm just thinking, I don't think I've been a red flag.
Well, look, you're not jarringly red. You like
Like
orange.
I think no. Here's another red flag that I've always like I snoop, hey? like I was
Yeah, yo,
just,
Boomy
like I was
snoops.
just like a
Boomy's like
professional
detective.
snooper,
Yo.
and for no reason. Like I will first start with some like I
You
knew
know who you like? We were watching Phineas and Ferb the other day. You know Phineas and Ferb's sister?
that's horrible.
She's always trying to bust them.
Yeah, actually, that's really, really horrible. But like, not even snooping in a sense where like I need to catch you doing something. Like before we even met, I had gone on your dad's Facebook page. I'd gone on your sister's Facebook page. I knew that your sister and I share a birthday. I just know too much. By the time we meet up,
That's crazy gold tendencies.
no, by the time we meet up, if you lie, I'm just like, that's not true. Because I saw that your dad said you were home.
And you know what the crazy thing is? My dad's such an oversharer.
I love your dad. Your dad was amazing for us dating because whatever happens, I know your dad will keep me in the loop. So generous with information. So yeah, that is my
What a
red
giving
flag.
man.
Our fire is dead because Brendan just used fire
Hey, guys, let me
lighters.
resurrect it.
Okay, our fire's back.
The beauty of
Yeah,
firelighters.
today we just did one of those casual, easy
Yeah,
fires.
guys, this is a YouTube fire. This
It's a
is
YouTube fire. It's not
a
our
one.
real fire.
It's just for the vibes, the winter warmers.
Yeah, so I think that was my toxic traits. I will just like want to know everything, and I will find it. Like if
Yeah.
it means I must add a friend that I don't know, that is exactly what I'm doing. This is Facebook days.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've listed out a few points of red flags to not ignore. I think this is important. I mean, I know we've been very light about things, which
this
is
is
fine.
important
But this
stuff.
is actually quite important stuff because I get a lot of messages where from the get-go you can just see that this is
Red
a
flag.
red flag. Like,
Yeah.
what are you doing? And I think if you have to send a message and ask someone for advice, you kind of already know that it's a
Yeah.
red flag. Okay, red flags to not ignore. Number 1, inconsistent behavior and communication.
Yeah. So that's what I was
That's
saying.
ghosting.
That part of that is ghosting, but like that's what I was saying. I was struggling with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, just because it's you can never, that's not something that you can fix if someone isn't willing to come to the party emotionally and have conversations. And I find I get a lot of guys like who will like talk about how they can't talk to each other. Like
Yeah.
if they say something, "Umuntu uyahamba," like that kind of thing. Like you don't really resolve anything.
Yeah.
If you have sketchy communication. So communication is one of the things I would say look out for.
Yeah.
The type of communication that you have with your partner. If it's something that is constructive, then you know that you have something really, really great because
Yeah.
it means you guys will be able to fix and work through stuff because there will be stuff.
Definitely. And I was just thinking now, like, in our relationship, when we were dating, communication was instant. So if something goes wrong, we would fix it now. But as you go with time, like, umuntu starts like almost going down. So now it's no longer we fix it immediately. A few hours will go or a day will go or whatever. So if your relation starts off and someone doesn't communicate with you for 4 days after a fight, can you imagine what's going to happen in marriage?
It's a problem
when the
because-
butterflies are gone.
And when the person starts to succeed more, because
It's even
now,
worse.
like your hierarchy of or your priority list, it
It just
changes.
changes, yeah.
Because now your partner is like being weird or you can't talk to them.
Yeah, and
but
you've
your
got things going
job
on.
is moving.
Yeah.
Like work is fun.
Yeah.
You in it, you're in the zone. So most likely that person will pick their work
Yeah.
over you, and that will just drive you even further apart.
Yeah. So we're not saying communication has to be perfect from the get-go. This is
Yeah.
something you can work through, but both parties have
Need
to be
willing to have the conversation, even if it just ends in like no man's land. But at
Yeah.
least be having the
Need to be
conversation.
having. Yeah. So look out for inconsistent behavior and communication. Inconsistent behavior could be things. I think ghosting. You explained it well by ghosting.
Or like a person, or maybe like moodiness as well.
Moodiness, very bad moodiness and
Yeah.
stuff. Okay, number 2, disregarding your needs and boundaries. For me, boundaries is a big thing.
Yeah.
I think if someone cannot respect your boundaries while you're dating, sure, it's going to be hell when you're married.
It's a problem because, I guess we've discovered in our marriage or even in just growing up in the past year that that boundaries really determine who we are.
Yeah, yeah,
And if you don't set boundaries as a person, one, you lose yourself.
yeah.
So you really do need your partner to understand your boundaries, and you need to be firm with your boundaries.
You need to be firm with your boundaries.
So
yeah.
that's something that I definitely think you should look out for.
And needs, I think needs are quite important. Jimmy Evans speaks a lot about needs in marriage and needs in a person. Like,
Yeah.
you cannot be with someone who doesn't meet your needs. Like, I think,
Definitely.
maybe let me rephrase, a relationship cannot work if the other person's needs are unmet. Because ultimately that's when people start going out and looking for other people to meet their needs. So it's
that's
important to communicate that these are my needs. Please meet them. And what we've done, even practically, is actually write down what we need. Because what I needed 2 years ago is not what
the
I need
same.
anymore. Yeah.
And I think sometimes you don't even realize, like you're talking, like sometimes, yes, I mean, obviously the most jarring of it will be like cheating.
Yeah.
Is someone looking for their needs being met outside. But it can also be in ways that people don't even know
Yeah.
that they're serving a need.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
so
yeah.
someone like you think, oh wow, Umpumi really loves the gym. Can't you know Umpumi is
Umpumi's
getting
meeting a need.
She's getting validated at the gym, or like she needs something that she's
Yeah.
getting from the gym and she's not getting it from me.
Yeah.
And so now, like I said, the priority list changes. So now you're spending more time
Sure.
on fitness and food and,
That's so
and
good.
eating well instead of kind of being with me because you feel like you're more yourself when you're
I'm
in
at the
that
gym.
environment.
Yeah.
So it really is important, guys, to know what your needs are and to make sure that you're always communicating those needs to your partner and you guys are both actively working to serve each other's needs.
So wise.
Okay, guys, we've been doing a lot of therapy.
So wise.
This is not even me.
This is our therapist.
This is our therapist.
Thanks,
Shout out.
therapist. Shout out.
Yeah.
Okay, number 3, controlling and manipulative. This is a big one because it can start off as innocent or cute, like, oh, he picks my dresses when we go on dates, or oh, she chooses my meals and things like that. It can start, oh, he
can.
opens my door or whatever, and it can start off as innocent and cute, but it can get to a point where it actually becomes abusive and really dangerous. So yeah, you just need to kind of check the level of control. I mean, a lot of people are controlling and it can be innocent or can be worked through, but there's a level of control that can be really, really dangerous. And if you feel like you're starting to lose yourself, a person's controlling who you get to see, where you get to
Then
go,
you set a boundary.
not even set a boundary. If someone wants to control who you see,
Yeah.
you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just trying to save it, I guess. But like, yeah, you're right. Controllingness is not good.
Yeah.
It's never good. But I mean, and the thing is this, it's again, it's one of those things you need to communicate because
Yeah.
some people are natural leaders.
natural leaders,
And if you're
yes.
dropping the ball, they're going to lead. They're going to pick up the ball and run.
Yeah.
They're trying to get in the hoop. So that's the thing.
Yeah.
It's again, communication is at the center of making sure that like, you know, the partner knows these are the boundaries.
These are the boundaries,
and
yeah.
I don't want you to do this for me.
Yeah.
I want to take
I want to
care
do it
of
myself.
this.
Yeah. And then if someone has heard you communicate and they continue doing it and you feel smaller and it's uncomfortable,
Yeah. That's a
listen
red
to
flag.
that. That's a proper red flag.
Yeah.
Saying one thing and doing another, that is like the ultimate. Like, I think there's just people like I said, there's just people who will say, hey, I like you, or I love you, or I whatever. I think you're amazing. And then the way they treat you is the opposite of that. Like every
Yeah.
time you're with them, you don't feel good enough. You feel intimidated. You feel like you have to change yourself. You need to check for those.
Yeah, look, it's really like, I think I forgot what I say, but there's a saying that I like. You pick a partner based on their patterns.
Their patterns, yeah.
And so if the patterns and what they say don't align, then that's a problem because this person is a liar.
A pathological liar.
Pathological liar, and it's a big issue. So make sure that you know that the person you are with is really the person that they say they are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the last one, a power imbalance. This is pretty hectic. And I think it's something we're seeing a lot of in our generation, where I think most people are looking for a complete person in a relationship, right? And that can come with its things, right? There's good cases. I mean, everything needs to be taken, this conversation has to be taken into context. But if you're a young person and you're a student and you've got really not much going for you, and you're with someone who's figured out their whole life, who's 10 years older or whatever, and they figured out their whole life, and because of that, because they bring the bread, they get to make all the decisions, and you basically just have to say yes sir or yes ma'am, then you know that there's a power imbalance.
Yeah, I think more than anything, I really think there needs to be an awareness, like of, and I guess this kind of helps. It really goes with maturity. Is knowing where you are,
Yeah.
and who you are,
Yeah.
at that point. And I mean, I'll make an example with us. When we met, I was famous,
Yeah.
and you weren't.
Yeah.
but we were both broke. But I feel like we were both very aware.
Yeah, of
who-
where we are
of
and
who
who
we
we
were.
are. Yeah.
Like, so I mean, I might not have been Brendan Praise of today, but I
Yeah.
knew I was Brendan Praise.
Yeah.
And you weren't Mpumi of today, but you were Mpumi in
Yeah.
some level.
Yeah.
In some form.
Yeah.
You know, when you were doing your promotions and you were
I
holding
did
up your
it.
signs.
I did it with confidence.
You did it to the. You were the best.
The
promotion.
best promotion
I think
you
still
could ever
hold the
have.
record, honestly. Like I'd still hire
It's
you.
dramatic.
But like, I think there was an awareness
Yeah.
of this is where I am in life, and so I think, look, that's why I'm saying that it's. I don't like to put over like blanket statements
Yeah.
of, you know, if you like your dad said, a 20-year age gets different. Like
I think he was confused.
I don't like putting a blanket statement of saying this kind of age difference because
Yes.
people's maturity is different.
It's different, yeah.
But I would say, as long as people are aware,
of where they are.
if you have it figured out, be aware.
Yeah.
And if you're dating someone who is still studying,
yeah.
be aware
Yeah.
that this person is still studying.
Yeah.
Because one day they become that advocate or that lawyer,
then
and it's a
what?
different person.
It's a different
she's
person.
she's not gonna be the same person.
Yeah.
Because she's changing and she's growing and she's
Yeah.
becoming herself. And so the same thing with you becoming something else.
Yeah.
So make sure that you are aware of the situation. I think that's why it's always a lot easier when people are closer in age.
Yeah.
Because in terms of success and what they've built,
Maturity.
they very much similar into that
Yeah,
place,
yeah.
you know. So yeah.
I think a good example would be the episode we did with Sia and Prudence, who
Yeah.
have an age gap of 10 years. But Sia said it himself. He's like, look, I knew my maturity.
At the
And
point,
at the
yeah.
point, I knew my maturity. And girls my age were just way too mature for me. You know, it was too much for him. So it's about knowing yourself and checking your self-awareness.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's it. I've got one more closing statement. Ignoring the red flags because you want to see the good in people will cost you later.
It definitely will.
Ultimately, it always goes back to what we say, the gut feeling. Trust
Yeah.
your gut.
I always say, man,
feeling.
follow your heart.
Follow
and at the
your
end
heart.
of the day, red flags are red flags. But if you wanna go swim, go swim.
Go swim
Because-
uzolunywa.
Yeah, it's fine. You know, because here's the thing, and people always say, like, you will regret the things that you didn't do more than the things that you did.
Ah, babe, are you saying people should just go after the red flags?
I was ghosted for 6 months, and I don't regret that because it wouldn't have led me to this point.
I don't know. I don't know. This is where we agree to disagree.
You don't think you were learning something in those moments?
No, I
You
just
don't
think
you
I could
became
have-
a different person?
I think I could have done without that experience. There's just some experiences not everybody has to go through. And I basically stand here sharing my experience so that somebody else doesn't have to go through that.
I understand that, but what I'm saying is, what do you think is the importance of that experience?
I learned a lesson. I definitely learned a
in you?
lesson, but no one else has to learn this lesson. I'm
100%.
giving you the lesson.
100%. But I'm just saying that for me, at the end of the day, I will always choose someone that follows their heart
Okay.
and can fully jump in and be naive. Like we were talking about this actually in kids. Like, you know, kids are the
naive.
most naive people. And you know what? Most of the time it works out for them. You know? And sometimes
Because mommy and daddy are standing right there to save them.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. So for all the people that always think we don't we agree about everything. Oh, you guys are so insane.
Trust me, we don't.
We don't.
We don't. We actually disagree quite a lot.
We disagree
We're
more than
very opinionated people.
yeah.
Both
we
of
d-
us.
we just agree on the big stuff.
Yeah.
But like a lot of the little stuff,
Just like, nah.
just agree to disagree.
Yeah.
But like, I wanted to add this to your points when you were reading it. I
Mm-hmm.
was sorry, I was thinking about it when you were saying, but I was gonna say that what I've learned is a red flag. This is important. I really think I should mention this.
Mention it.
People who can't forgive or ask or apologize. That is a red flag because, guys, if someone does not forgive you, that person carries that with them every day.
That's
and
true.
the last thing you want to do, and this is something I've started doing, is every time you offend me, I forgive you immediately.
Yeah,
and I
so good.
immediately move it out of my mind so that I can be nicer to you.
Yeah.
Because over time, I'm going to become a bad person.
Yeah.
Because I'm carrying all this resentment
I'm still
inside.
working on that.
I know, but yeah, this is a lifelong work. So
Yeah.
you know, there's no rush.
Yeah, still working on it. There's nothing worse than just carrying little things because little things eventually become big things.
But like I said, it's two parts. It's the apologizing and it's the forgiving.
Forgiving, yeah.
So you also need to learn to forgive. Some people can't can't forget. And I was that person.
Yeah.
I couldn't forgive because I couldn't receive the apology. It was never good enough.
Yeah, like good brain, melu having come.
And she used to say that while apologizing. So you can understand.
Like,
I can't
"Ngite."
apologize someone. She'd say "Ngite." And I was just like, now I'm definitely not forgiving you.
Yeah,
So-
guys, it's like you went to the entire ceremony. I'm sorry, okay? Take it. Thank you, guys. Just like our fire's gone, so are we. Was that good?
This is our love story. This is our journey.